Hey everyone, I'm Mine, and this is set number 76389, Hogwarts Chamber of Secrets in the LEGO Harry Potter theme. This set contains 1,176 pieces, 11 minifigures, and retails for $129.99 in the US. This set was sent to me by the LEGO Group through the LEGO Ambassador Network, but all opinions expressed in this video are my own. So here's the full build of the Chamber of Secrets, and this set is beautiful. Despite this being the 4th year of the modern iteration of LEGO Harry Potter, this is actually only the second modern Harry Potter set I've gotten. Because while I've liked the theme from afar, it's been expensive, and nothing's really drawn my eye that much, but this set looks spectacular, so I knew I wanted to have it in hand. And having it in hand, yeah, I love this. This set is fantastic. It looks beautiful on display, but it also just makes for a really great toy. One thing I love about this set is the modular aspect of it. Every little part of this build comes apart, and you can rearrange them and also combine them with other sets from this year. I'm not going to be combining them in this video because I don't have all those other sets, I only have one other. But I just want to show you how this set comes apart. So you can take this roof off, then you can remove this room, then this little platform right here, then this entire section can be separated from the center. And this room can be removed. And then coming to the Great Hall in the center, the roof here can also be removed. It's in 3 different sections. The main build of the Great Hall also comes off. And then the little door to the Chamber of Secrets on the side over here can also be removed. And they're all the parts separated out, they're all unique and distinct and are like pretty decent builds on their own. But when you put them all together, they look super nice. But I just love this modularity because you can rearrange all of this if you want. And as I said, you can also add in other sets or even make your own sets to put in here to just expand upon your Hogwarts castle, and I think that's so cool. But now let me put it back together and I'll take you through each individual part of this set up a little closer. So there it is, all put back together. So moving up closer, you can see all the buildings are on top of this giant rock formation down here. That's because the inside of this lower level is actually the Chamber of Secrets, which we'll take a look at when we take a look at the interior. But it actually makes for a really cool look on the outside because it makes it look like all these buildings are built on top of a bit of a mountain. You can see each room has its own distinct architecture. This one has the Hogwarts crest right here. There's also some different looking pillars. The Great Hall has a pretty iconic shaping to it. Above that, we have the roof to the Great Hall. This time around, they use sand green instead of gray. If you want to know why that is, I actually did an interview with the Harry Potter designers, which I'll link in the top right corner. But personally, I really like the sand green. It reminds me a lot of the LEGO Harry Potter sets when I was a kid. And I never had any of the Hogwarts sets back then, so it makes me very happy to have the sand green nowadays. They use these drill pieces with the unicorn horns for the tops of the towers. And then on the right side, you can see there's this rounded window. I don't know if these round window pieces are new, but I think they look super nice, and I love how this looks. And on top of that, there's an even larger pillar, which is topped off that same way. Moving next to the interior, here's how the inside of the entire building looks. So first we'll take a look at the interior of the Great Hall right here, and I love how this looks. It's got a nice amount of space, and it just feels very cozy. You can see there's 2 separate tables right here, so you could sit quite a few characters here, at least all the students that come in the set, but probably some of your own too if you want. And the table is littered with all different types of food, so you can see there's 2 cups right here, there's a croissant, there's some chocolate frogs, which are hidden all over this set, which is really funny. And then there's 2 stickered cereal pieces. I'm pretty sure these are just made up for this set, but they're really funny, and they remind me a lot of the cereal piece that Sensei Wu came with in the Ninjago movie minifigure series. So it's cool to get more like cereal boxes in that same style. But here we have Pixie Puffs, they're gobbling great, and then we have Cheery Owls. On the other table behind that, there's just 2 golden chalices, and then the left side of that back table can also actually be flipped up. If you hit it pretty hard, you could probably honestly fling whatever's on it, or you just move it slower and just like adjust it up. But regardless, that's a pretty cool play feature, I like that that's there, and it probably isn't too hard to remove if you like don't want that. There's also a little fireplace in the back, which uses the candlestick fire pieces, which is a great part. I'm glad to see they're using it like outside of candlesticks a little bit more. Though there are plenty of candlesticks here as well, which add to the overall like Hogwarts feel of this. Over on the side here, we have Dumbledore's podium, which I think is so cute. This is such a creative way to like translate that into LEGO form, and I think it looks excellent. It just adds a lot of personality to this build. Like, just having Dumbledore stand behind it looks excellent. I adored the design choice here, that's super cool. Moving up into the roof of the Great Hall, there's a few things here. I'm not entirely sure what all of these are. I think this might be a chess or checkerboard. This is a little minifigure head like in a dome, and the interesting thing about this is this part's actually glow in the dark. So if I turn the lights out in my light box, you can see it actually glows. So if anybody knows what that's supposed to be, let me know in the comments. Before filming this review, I actually talked to my sister, who's a huge Harry Potter fan, to like try to figure out what all these things are that I wasn't like familiar with the references for. But even she wasn't positive on this one, so if anybody else knows, please let me know in the comments. Over on this side, you have a blue gem on top of a stud, and then there's also this printed piece, which I also couldn't identify. There's a little note on the front, and then there's some orange and gold leaves. This comes in a few different sets this year, and I don't know if it's just supposed to be like generic potion ingredients or if it's something specific. But again, if it's something specific, let me know what it is in the comments, because I couldn't figure it out. And then in the center, there's a Hogwarts banner, as well as a little chocolate frog hidden in the top. But behind this banner is where the sorting hat is actually kept. And there's the sorting hat, and this looks great. I'm so happy I finally have this part. This definitely did not need to be included in this set, but I'm so glad it was, because it looks great. And it's just a fun extra accessory to have. Because the sorting hat obviously is very important to Harry Potter lore, so having another way to get it is really appreciated. Now, moving over to the left, we have Lockhart's classroom as well as his office above it. His office is pretty packed, but there's a few different things here. There's 2 different desks for students to sit in, a little table right over here. In the back there's a framed photo of Lockhart himself, as well as the skull. And then there's an even larger framed portrait of Lockhart, in full color and everything, and I think that's super funny. It matches his personality and everything, and it's just such a cool inclusion in this set. And then on the left side there's a little bottle of, I guess, a potion or something, a pink frog, which is always funny to see. And then there's the newer candelabra piece in the back. The candelabra looks great. This is my first time getting that part, and that's such a cool new piece. With all the different bars in different directions on it too, I feel like it'd also probably be pretty great for mocks. But yeah, that's an awesome part to see. And then above that we have Lockhart's office. You have his wig up here, which is just the second of his hairpiece. I think it's really funny you get 2 of it in this set. And then in the back you have tons of different framed photos of just him showing all of his different amazing feats, including this one right here where he's taking a picture with Harry. And then on his desk right here he has a signed photo of himself. It's a bit hard to get the camera in an angle where I could show it, but behind that desk there's a chair, as well as a little chocolate frog hidden behind that. And there's how he looks actually sitting at his desk. Right next to Lockhart's room there's a little balcony with a chocolate frog and a broom, as well as this trans-clear piece which is extending out into the sky. At the very end of this piece, you could see there's one of the DC Comics action jumper pieces, which were used in that minifigure series to be able to put your characters in dynamic poses. And it's a similar idea here. You attach a character on a broom to that trans-clear piece and it makes it look like they're flying. Those are always cool inclusions. I always appreciate when sets have ways to actually display the minifigures in action on the set. And of course, it's easy to remove if you don't want that there. Then finally, in the very top room, there's this little astronomy section. You can see on the outside there's a little perch with a nest for Hedwig or any other owl. And then on the inside there's this orb right here, this telescope with these green gems coming out of it, as well as this little stickered piece showing the constellations. And if you look right there, oh my god, it's Bionicle, guys! Is Bionicle confirmed returning in 2022? No. But that's a pretty funny reference that the designer snuck in there. But yeah, this telescope can be rotated and moved up and down. And this orb piece right here is actually yet another glow-in-the-dark part. This set comes with quite a few of those, which are always really cool to see. And now that we've looked at all the rooms in the actual Hogwarts building, now let's move down to the Chamber of Secrets. So first, this is the section directly below Lockhart's classroom. There's a black slide piece right here to slide down into the Chamber of Secrets. So if you remove the classroom up top, you can drop a figure down there and they could fall in. And I believe some of the other sets, if you connect them, they'll actually have an entrance into here. But by default, this set doesn't actually have an entrance to get down onto the slide, which is a little disappointing to see. It's cool that other sets still do have that, but the slide is just kind of pointless in this set. Because if you want a character to be able to use it, you have to push them to the top and then let go, instead of being able to just drop them on the top. So fun concept, and if you have multiple of the Hogwarts sets, it's great. But as it stands, just as this set, it's a little bit lackluster. This room as a whole doesn't have much going on. It just has these grates on the floor, a few different bones strewn all throughout. There's also a white frog hidden down here. There's a lot of frogs hidden in this set. Lots of chocolate frogs, but also one pink one and one white one. He's really cute. I like him. And that's about it. There's pillars on the sides and not much more. Definitely the most boring room of anything in this set. I don't think it's bad. It's nice to just have some room to display figures in the Chamber of Secrets. But yeah, there really isn't anything special here. But then when we move to the part of the Chamber of Secrets that's directly below the Great Hall, this gets a lot more interesting. So here we have the giant face of Salazar Slytherin. And this is great. I love the shaping on this. They use these slope pieces and whatnot to create his hair, and he's got his beard right here. But they also still managed to make it look like a Lego head while also having it fit in this universe. They did a really good job here. It captures Lego's art style really well, and it all just comes together really nicely. Those eye pieces are stickers, not prints, but I think that's fine. It works well enough. And then around the sides, these are the coolest parts of this entire set. There's these 2 snake statues on the side, which can be removed. And with them removed, you can see they use Asphira from Ninjago's head dual molded in light gray and trans green. And this looks so cool. I always love snake characters, especially from Ninjago and whatnot. But this is just such a cool new part to have, and obviously it fits the context of the set, right? In the Chamber of Secrets, there were giant snake statues. But the fact that they chose to use Asphira's head means you can make your own custom characters with this part, and it would work really well. I actually got multiples of this part from Bricks and Pieces because I just wanted to make my own custom characters with them. They're super, super cool, especially around the back. Looking how that green looks with the gray. This is just such a unique and fun inclusion that definitely did not need to be here. But I'm so happy it is, because this is just excellent. Other than that, though, there's not much going on in the Chamber of Secrets. There's the head, the 2 statues, and that one room on the other side, but there's not much else beyond that. But there is one more thing you can do with this part of the build. If you go back to the stone structures around the front, in between where these 2 torches are, that's where Salazar Slytherin's head is. And you may notice there's these 2 robot arm pieces down here. Well, you can actually remove those and remove this entire rock section right here. And that gets rid of his mouth. And that's how you can have the Basilisk actually come out through the mouth of the statue like he did in the books and movie. You're able to completely feed him through and he just comes out the other side. And then finally, also around the outside, there's the door to the Chamber of Secrets that Harry uses Parseltongue to open. I like the snake design on the outside, and obviously that can just be opened up. And above that, there's a little green roof and an owl. And there's what that looks on the inside. You can see there's a chocolate frog hidden in there. And these two tile pieces are actually glow in the dark, which is interesting. Yeah, lots of like randomly placed glow in the dark pieces in this set. I'm not complaining, they look great, but it's just kind of surprising to see. But I think that's about it for the main build of the set, so now let's move on to the side build. And of course, by side build, I'm referring to the Basilisk right here. I like this guy. I think he's very funny looking. Maybe not the most representative of like the creature from the movie, but I think he's a lot of fun. And I think he has all the pieces needed here that if you wanted to make a bigger and more accurate one, you could. The face on this guy is by far the highlight. He uses one of the Jurassic World raptor jaws. And I think he has that perfect mix of being like a goofy and fun toy while also actually like capturing the look of this like deadly creature in the movie. And then his body's split up into multiple different sections. You can see a neck piece right here, neck piece right here. Large part of his body right there. And then his tail gets shorter around the back. This middle part of his neck can be rotated so you can have him looking up, looking to the side, looking down, looking to the other side, or looking up. You get a few different options there, and of course the head itself can also spin. And then very similar things with the tail. Each part can move independently. So you can have it like I have now where each individual section is like moving in opposite direction, or you can have them all facing the same direction, or of course any combination of those. I think the main part I don't like about this guy is the body. I just feel like it could be stronger. I think they would have been better off just using like these two pieces for the entire body and not switching to brick built right here. It doesn't look bad, it's fine, and it gives him more stability, but I definitely think he could have been better. But as a whole, I love this guy, I'm happy I have him, I love snakes, snakes are so funny, and this is a big, very funny snake. And he can scream, so what's there to complain about? Speaking of snakes, the set also comes with this tiny green snake, and it also comes with 6 random wizard cards. These are the 6 I got, but you could get any 6. I like the wizard cards, they're fun collectibles, it's a little annoying when you get duplicates, but it's exciting to have that surprise when you open the box. Now, moving on to the minifigures, we of course have Harry Potter, Ginny Weasley, and Colin Creevey. Harry comes with the Sword of Gryffindor, which came in last year's Harry Potter collectible minifigure series, but it's really cool to see it re-released here because obviously that minifigure series is off shelves at this point. Also, looking at this reminds me that's why the sorting hat came in this set. I kind of forgot that the sorting hat was a major part of the climax of this movie, so actually it makes a lot of sense that it's included here, and I'm really glad it is. But regardless, Sword of Gryffindor, great part. I love the dual molded silver and trans red. And then Harry himself is fine. Pretty generic Harry minifigure in Gryffindor robes. I'm pretty sure this comes in at least a few other sets. His robes are different than Ginny's and Colin's, but they all just have Gryffindor robes, so there's nothing like too spectacular about any of them. And then he's got his modern head and hairpiece. With Ginny, it's cool to finally get a Chamber of Secrets version of Ginny, but this figure is not that great. It just uses a generic child female face print, which is disappointing to see. I really wish she had a unique face, especially because she's like a pretty significant character. Colin Creevey is not that big of a character, but he got an all-new face print, but Ginny can't. And even worse, she's not even the only character to use that face in this set. I'll talk more about this when we go over this figure, but Luna also has that same exact face print in the same exact set. And this face print kind of fits neither of them. She should really have orange eyebrows, I don't know why she has black, and the face print, again, it's just very generic, it doesn't really fit her. So yeah, while this minifigure is called Ginny, there's nothing about her that really makes this Ginny other than having orange hair, which like, there could be other characters with orange hair. It's not very strong to me, in my opinion. I'm happy we got a Ginny in the set, but it's not a very good one. Her accessory is Tom Riddle's diary, which is pretty cool. I believe this also came in last year's Harry Potter minifigure series, and the version of that series is much better than this one, but again, if you missed out on that, this is a nice way to still get this part. And if you open it up, there's nothing on the inside. A little disappointing, I wish there was more going on there. But again, it did come in last year's minifigure series, so I'm not too bothered. And then we come to Colin, who is a way better figure than he has any right to be. Obviously, same torso and legs as the other two, those aren't that special. But that new face print for him is great. Great expression, really unique. And then his new hairpiece too is also good. I believe it's new, I don't believe it's coming to any other characters though, let me know in the comments if it has. But it's the modern Han Solo hairpiece in like this lighter brown color. And it looks great, that's an awesome part to have for like customs and whatnot. And also fits his character really well. I don't know why this figure is so good and Ginny's just so lame. But I mean, I'm not complaining that this figure is good, it is just a really great figure. He also comes with this camera as an accessory, which makes sense. That's what this character used in the movie that this set is based on, so it makes sense that he'd come with it in this set. Here these three are with their hairpieces removed so you can get a better look at their face prints, and there's a look at back torso prints and alternate faces. Pretty much the same back torso print in all of them. Harry's is a little bit different, but it's very similar. Harry's got a scared alternate face, which is great. Ginny just has sad little girl face. And then once again, Colin's face, really, really good. The colored eyebrows literally make such a difference, and I'm so disappointed that Ginny and Luna didn't get that. But oh well, for what we have, it's alright. Moving on to the next two minifigures, we have Justin Finch-Fletchley and Luna Lovegood. These two, again, are awfully generic, though they're a little more interesting because they're not Gryffindor. Gryffindor robes come in so many sets, but I believe these specific robes only come in this set, at least as of right now. We have Hufflepuff robes and we have Ravenclaw robes, but as I said, yeah, other than that, they are fairly generic minifigures. Same exact just generic child female face for Luna that Ginny had, and generic male child face print for Colin. Colin doesn't bother me too much because he's like not a significant character, so he's more just a way to get a Hufflepuff robe, but you can turn him into like whatever character you want, so I don't really mind him. But for someone like Luna or Ginny, having such a generic face front is just disappointing to see. Luna has her iconic hairpiece at the very least, which looks really great, and definitely still makes her identifiable even if the face print isn't very good. And there are the back torso prints as well as alternate faces. Here are the next three figures in the set. We have Albus Dumbledore, Gilderoy Lockhart, and Professor Sinestra. This Dumbledore minifigure is spectacular. I love how varied the Dumbledore minifigures are in every single set, like they're all so different from each other, but this is one of the best ones, and this is one of my favorite minifigures of this year, just like full stop. The magenta color looks so pretty, and that's a color that like LEGO does not use enough in general, but it looks great on Dumbledore here. The detailing is great as well, super intricate, and lots of metallic detailing as well. It just feels very elegant, like this is just such a great minifigure. Lockhart is also pretty good. Not the most detailed minifigure of all time, a little bit of leg printing would have been nice, just carrying that robe over into his legs just a slight bit, but it's not a huge deal, like this isn't a super detailed outfit anyway, so he doesn't need it. It just would have been a nice touch. But I still really like this minifigure. I think this is a good representation of this character, especially with the face front. That expression is great. And the way they translate the outfit too, like I instantly recognize this outfit from what I've seen from the movies. Like they did do a really great job with this guy. He's just not as good as Dumbledore here. And then Professor Sinistra is a really weird one to pick. She like is hardly significant to the movies at all, but they went all out in this figure. I believe this is an all-new hat-hair combo piece for this figure, which is really cool to see. Her dress is really pretty too. Lots of like fall, autumn colors, lots of metallic printing on them too. And I'm pretty sure this is an all-new face print for her too. And it's a really good one as well. I always love when we get face prints in different skin tones because there's not enough of those. And for a random one-off character like this is the perfect opportunity to introduce something like this, and they did, and I love that. The face print looks great, it's useful outside of the context of this character, and if you look at her alternate face, it's equally good. She's got her glasses on this time around, she's got some personality there. I adore it. This is an amazing minifigure, and for like a random one-off character that you hardly see in the movies or in the books, this is so strange that like they put so much detail into her here, but I'm so glad they did because she's excellent. Here are the alternate faces and back torso prints on the other two. Incredible alternate face on Lockhart. I love that expression for him. So full of emotion. I love like the little drop of sweat trickling down his face. Dumbledore just has a little smile. The back of his torso isn't amazing, not bad, but you never actually see it, so it's not a huge deal. I do wish that dress design continued into the back of the dress too, though, because they do that sometimes, and it always looks really great when they do. But again, most of the time you're not going to be seeing this. Oh, and I guess I never showed his front face print without the beard, so there's how that looks. And then finally, for the last two minifigures, we have Nearly Headless Nick and Tom Riddle. Nearly Headless Nick is such a unique minifigure, because the entire figure is glow-in-the-dark. It's the modern glow-in-the-dark pieces too, just like the Bone Demon from Monkey Kid. So the glow lasts like a really long time, and it's super vibrant, and it's just such a cool concept, and it's executed really well too. I love the look of this figure. The printing on top of him also is just really great. I like how there's no dark lines on him here at all. It reminds me a lot of White Vision from the Marvel CMF. Like all of his detailing is entirely done with gray and silver and green, and it gives him that ghostly look. They did a great job here. I'd be curious to see, imagine if they did like Force Ghosts from Star Wars in a similar style, but obviously blue instead of green. That'd be the coolest thing. But yeah, this is an amazing and super unique minifigure. Again, another one of my favorites of the year just because of how, like, unlike any other minifigure it is. And then we have Tom Riddle, who, while he isn't the most, like, spectacular minifigure, is a really cool character to get. I believe this character came in a, like, book or something a few years ago, but not this exact variant, so it's cool to get Tom Riddle in a wide-release set. And he's a pretty good figure. I especially like the face print on him. I believe that's new. His robes look really nice, and they continue into the legs and everything, which is cool to see. And there's the back torso prints and alternate faces on both of them. Tom Riddle's got this really angry face, and Nick over here just looks really scared. Really great back torso print on Nick as well. Again, that metallic printing combined with the green and everything creates such a cool look. And back torso print on Tom Riddle, pretty generic. It works, it fits Hogwarts, but it's nothing all too special. And then, while not a minifigure, the set also comes with two Cornish pixie molds. They have this really interesting, like, translucent blue where they, like, look transparent, but you can't actually see through them. It reminds me a lot of the sparkly light blue color that's been used a lot this year, but it's not that color, it's a darker blue. See, I'm not sure like what the exact LEGO color for this is, but regardless, it looks great. These are such a random thing to get like figures of, and I'm really happy we have them because it just like expands the Harry Potter world. And you can see the personalities captured in the figures and everything too, and the shaping's done pretty well. The overall figure's done in a very similar style to Baby Groot. Yeah, these two are great. I like how you get two here, but I don't have much else to say about them. And then finally, this set comes with Golden Voldemort. All of the Harry Potter sets this year come with golden minifigures to celebrate the theme's 20th anniversary, and the one in this set is Voldemort. And I like these guys. Voldemort's one of the most unique ones because he's entirely unique, like none of his parts are shared with any of the other minifigures, while ones like Harry, Hermione, and Ron all share the same torso. And I think he looks good, not the most complex or anything, but they did a really good job here of keeping him entirely gold. Like a lot of the gold Ninjago figures incorporated the ninjas' like actual colors into them, which I like. Like I'm not complaining about the Ninjago figures. I would have preferred them doing it like that than like this. But for Harry Potter, I think this makes sense. They just use a different shade of gold for the detailing on the torso. Actually, multiple different shades. It's like a darker gold, and then there's a metallic gold, and then there's an even lighter metallic gold to like represent sparkles on top. It all comes together to create like a really cool look. I like the face too, how that's entirely gold as well. And then around the back, the torso says 20 years, Lego Harry Potter. He also comes with a golden wand, which a lot of the other golden minifigures come with, but that's a cool part to get because I don't believe that's been released outside of these golden minifigures. Oh, and he also comes on this golden CMF stand, which is cool. Yeah, I quite like this guy. I don't have a ton to say about him because he's just like a Voldemort figure, but gold. But having him in hand, I do like having these golden figures. And I think they're a nice way to celebrate the theme's 20th anniversary. Also, another plug for my interview with the designers. In that video, I asked them why they decided to go with golden minifigures instead of classic minifigures, and they answered that question there. So if you want to go hear their answer to that, go click the card in the top right corner, or go to the link in the description or something, wherever I put it. So, overall, would I recommend this set? I for sure would, yeah. This set is excellent because I feel like you get so much here. It looks beautiful, but it's also just an amazing playset. There's so many different minifigures to like perfectly recreate like most of the scenes from the Chamber of Secrets. And the scenes that can't be recreated with this set can be recreated with the other sets from this wave, and you can combine them all to make one giant playset. And I adore that. I really don't have many complaints here. A few of the minifigures could be more accurate or more detailed, but I think it's a pretty solid lineup as a whole. I don't really have much critical to say about it. I'm really happy I have it. I think the designers outdid themselves. I far prefer this line of Hogwarts sets to the originals. Yeah, just lots of great stuff here. But those are just my thoughts. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. If you enjoyed this video, please press like and subscribe if you're new. I do LEGO videos like this every single day, so if you subscribe, you'll be the first to see them. Thanks for watching, everybody, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!